Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Hansard.
And I'm Larry Siebert.
And we're here to introduce our company, Final Thoughts. FinalThoughts.com is a service that allows you to share future memories with the people you care about and the loved ones in your life.
So to explain a little bit further about what we do, you log into our site, you would create a profile. You would upload various recipients, people that you would want to receive messages after you pass away on Earth, and you would be able to send either documents, pictures, videos to these people upon your death. They can be, you're sending these people memories of various things that maybe you've shared with this person. These are things that you want these people to know after you pass away.
So you might ask, what kind of thought would someone upload to the site? And a bit the way the user portfolio, the user profile will work is you will have yourself in the center. You will have all the people that you have set up as recipients, and they will each have their own little module that you can click on, go into their user space, upload videos, upload documents, upload images, anything you want. Set up the rest of their piece, and then we will deliver those messages. So you're trying to think of what kind of messages these would be. It would be as simple as one today, where I would take it of me and Larry, of us here, presenting Final Thoughts to you guys. I would tag Larry in it, and then in 100 years when I pass away, Larry gets this message, and he gets this message of us here today, and whether this is successful or this is our largest failure in history, it will make him feel some type of way. He will have an emotional connection to that event, and as time passes and more time passes, your memories get a little more cloudy, they get a little more faded, but here is these memories that are in a format where when you see them, you will remember it and you will have these feelings.
A lot of people wonder, okay, so how do you know when someone passes away? So you have your profile, you have all these recipients set up. You'll choose 2 people in your profile to be your thought guardians, just like you would choose someone to handle the financial side of your existence and make sure that your money and everything, all those things are all taken care of. You'll have 2 people that you choose that are invested in your legacy. They care about you emotionally. What these people do is when you pass, they'll log into that site, they'll get an email saying that, hey, Larry Siebert just set up Matt Hansard to be his thought guardian, so that person knows that they're your thought guardian. They'll log in, they will tell us that you've passed, and then all these messages will be sent out for either dates right after. You can choose each specific date or when you want specific thoughts to go out. So you'll have a bunch of messages, I'm sure, that'll go out right after you pass. You'll have some messages that will be empty. You won't have dates set for them. For instance, I have three boys. I'll have 3 different messages that I want to send to my boys on their wedding day. Maybe their wedding hasn't happened yet, so I don't know that date. It'll be my thought guardian's responsibility to put in that date, so I can leave that message to my son saying, I have a 4th. Hey, little Larry the 4th. I'm so proud of you. You've become a great man and a good person, and I know you met the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Good luck to you. Don't drink too much today, because today's her day, not really yours. And leave that special message to my son. And it'll be my thought guardian's responsibility to put that date in to make sure that my kids get those messages.
Yeah, and so like Larry said, you can set up your delivery to be immediately upon your passing. You can set it up as a time delivery. So I'd like this message to go out in a month, 6 months, a year. I would like this message to go out every year on an anniversary date. Or again, then Larry really expanded on dates that did not have one assigned that your thought guardian could go in and fill in.
So we've told you a little bit about the fun side, and that's what this site is designed to be. It's a social legacy site. This is something to ensure that your legacy lives on after you pass. We spend so much time documenting everything we do on a day-to-day basis and share it with our friends via text message or email or on Facebook or whatever social media sites that everybody uses. We spend so much time doing that. This is a way to make sure that all of those videos, all those thoughts, all those things that we do on a day-to-day basis don't get lost when we're no longer here. So there's that side of the business, but there's also the more serious side. There's a lot of things in our lives, different documents, secure documents, things that we want to keep private, as far as passwords to specific accounts, things like that. So this is also an opportunity for you to upload that document and leave a message saying, hey honey, I put all the passwords for the safe in the basement that you never ever go into underneath the mattress, or whatever the case may be. There's something, I'm sure that every single one of you sitting in this crowd has something they would want to tell somebody if they got hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah. Right, like, this is where I hid the money from my bank robbery or whatever, something like that. Like these are things that necessarily you're not telling everybody, but things that are out there. So many people have not done any end-of-life management. We are really trying to be an end-of-life docu-media management company. So as much as creating those things to the people that could do something with it. This is where my life insurance policy is. This is a message to my wife because she doesn't know the logins for any of our bank accounts. She doesn't know who has our mortgage. And you don't have to go see a lawyer. I mean, I would obviously recommend going and doing proper estate planning, but so many people haven't done anything. At least this would be something that you have out there. So if you passed away, there would be some record of what to do with this, information. We are currently developing our website. It should be done, they say August, I say October, by the time I'm sure it really gets all together. So we're really out here in these months leading up to this point, presenting this idea, trying to get some reasonable feedback. We are launching our company at South by Southwest in March. I'm sure we probably have no business going and doing that. But we're going to give it a shot, and much like this, we're going to present, fail, retort, present, fail, retort. Just keep doing that again and again. Larry, do you have anything else?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of questions, I'm sure, around this. How do you guys create a revenue stream? One of the ways we're going to market this product is we're going to offer it free to first responders, active military. Those folks wake up every day and don't know what they're going to encounter. So it's free to those folks while they're involved in whatever they're doing. Our initial plan was to have a free service up to 100 megs or somewhere in that range. And then after that, you're really just paying for us to store this information for you up to a gig or 2 gigs or whatever the various tiers are. We haven't really figured that out yet, but that's really how we plan to turn this into a revenue stream. And then last but not least, just how do you think you guys can help us, or do you have any ideas or thoughts, or you want to blow holes in this idea? This is your opportunity, because that's what we're really looking for.
Are you stealing my question, Larry?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, first, thank you. All right. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Who has questions, sir?
Hi. You guys have done something really interesting, which is you've identified a subject that most people consider taboo and are afraid to talk about, and I think that's actually pretty commendable, but I think that's also a problem. So my question is around how do you market this? Well, you have a market, everybody does. So congratulations.
Thank you. That's the first person that has said that.
There's nothing like this.
Right. But I can tell you, again, I think it's a great idea, but I might have a mental block with doing it because I'm not going to get my bus to be. At least that's the way that I think it's completely works. So, other than the terminally ill and first responders, which you talked about, how do you identify a specific market and also approach people in a way that's light while also acknowledging the gravity of what you're trying to do?
And reasonably, this is our biggest issue. This is the thing we talk about the most, is how do we market this product without it making it seem morbid, or marketing it only to people that are nearer to an end-of-life event. So we are working on a commercial right now, and we're actually filming our first commercial this Saturday. And I guess I can give you a bit of the rundown of how that looked, and maybe you guys can tell us. So in our commercial, we have a bride in her bride's room getting ready for her wedding, and she a bit peeks out into the crowd, and she spies a memory table. She walks over to her memory table, and she sees a uniform represented in the table. And as she's a bit fingering the buttons on the uniform, she gets her text alert, hey, you have a new final thought. She opens it up, and it's her father's wish to her on her wedding day. So with that type of marketing, we're really trying to appeal not maybe to the person that would like to make a message, maybe to the people that would like to receive a message, and see if you can kind of scale it from there, taking someone to say then to someone else, hey, mom, dad, I would love you to be a member of the site. You know, we have probably thought, and I'm sure we will probably do every 5K there is. Those are typically what they are geared around, raising money for things along those lines. And reasonably, you can pick up some clients that way. Again, I don't know. This is hard to do a market study for. It really is.
I'm going to steal my percent for myself. I would say also focus on not. I don't think this is so much more an end of life discussion. It's attractive to people who just like to preserve history and to preserve things. So, I mean, I'm a massive scrapbooker, and I'm also a big Shutterfly person. So, it's giving somebody a platform to an outlet for that, and to create that sort of a holding place for the things they find important throughout their life. Not something they're running around doing the 6 months before they know they're going to die. It's like, oh good, I have another place to put stuff. This is satiating that need in me throughout my life. So thinking about how to partner maybe with companies that already are tagging into that customer base. Those scrapbooking people, those.
And I like, Melissa, obviously you are a bit of a historian for your family,
Absolutely.
correct? So we have kicked around the idea a bit of being able to set up a ghost user.
I'm also what do you call that?
A
An alpha
historian?
daughter?
Are you the alpha daughter? You're the middle child syndrome?
No,
Is that right?
I'm the only.
You're the only. Okay, well, that would be the middle as well.
I'm an alpha cousin too.
So what if there was an opportunity to create a bit of a ghost user? So you would put out a user that isn't necessarily a real one, but somebody that you could create and then tag all the people in your family. So not only are they receiving messages when someone passes away, but you could set up this user. And I like to use this example. Say your grandfather was an architect, and he had built an amazing building in St. Louis, and you got this little presentation on it, where it showed him and his drawing board and a profile on the building, and you set that up as a geolocated thought. Every time someone that you had set up walked into that building, they're going to get this thought, and they're going to get this whole little presentation. Maybe something like that to engage more of that type of user.
Question here.
Sorry.
It's a question, kind of a softball, but I'm in public relations, and I like to do storytelling, or I think of storytelling. What is the story? How do you come to final thoughts? Because I just want to point this out. You went right into what the product was. I want to be drawn into how you got, because this is, as someone said earlier, it's sort of a taboo topic. How did you get to this? What was the creation of Final Thoughts? Or was it just, hey, we think nobody's doing this and we want to do this?
Well, for me, I take pictures and I shoot videos of all the different things. Matt and I go skiing and we go on these mountain bike trips, and I create these GoPro videos, and I have all this stuff. And it means a lot to me, and I want to share that information. I want to make sure that when I'm not here, I want to put it somewhere and make sure I assign somebody to it, whether it's Matt or Matt's kids or my kids, because we do these trips together as families. And as we get older, I just have these saved on a stagnant hard drive sitting in a drawer in my office. Rather than just upload it to that or make sure I back that up, I could just say, I'm just going to upload this to Final Thoughts, and I'm going to choose the recipients of who I want this to go to. I can still access it. I can go look at it anytime I want. It's always there. But at least I know that it's saved somewhere else. I mean, that's really the value in what we bring. It's not to, obviously you want to leave messages, you want to do that, but it's just to make sure that digital media and all that time and all those things that we've cataloged or kept over our life, kind of like what you talked about with the scrapbooking. I want to make sure it goes somewhere. Because I know that as I've gotten older, I forgot things, and I would love it if my kids could remember me. I would love that. I mean, call a little vain or whatever, but if I'm no longer here, I want my kids to remember me. And I feel like this is something that would help them remember. Or, oh gosh, I totally forgot about that ski trip that Dad took us on when we were 8 years old and I couldn't even snowboard. I hit that jump and I landed on my face and he's got it on video. Holy cow, that was awesome. I don't know if he'll remember that forever. And I want to remember us being together as a family. And this is a way for me to ensure that I can either send this message to him once every 6 years or once on that day that we went, every 10 years or whatever, send him that video or send him that link to make sure that he remembers that. Because that event meant a lot to me in my life. And I'm saving it as I kind of go along. It's not supposed to be a lot of work, and this is another place to put it rather than on the hard drive in your drawer.
So, can I respond to this one? Real
Yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
Okay, so what I really liked about your question, and I've gotten this question a lot. You're looking for our Peter Parker Spider-Man origin story got bit by the radioactive spider. We don't have one. We do, but it's super snarky, and we can't sell that because that won't work. You're in public relations. This is a question I get again and again and again. How did you come up with this? What's the driving force behind it? I don't have a good answer to that. The truth is not the one
He
that
just
works.
gave an answer.
So you think so you're not looking for an origin story in that. You're looking for that up on the heart.
He just said because he wants to share it with his
Okay.
kids. To me, all of a sudden, Scott, right?
Larry.
I'm sorry. I completely connected with you. Like I totally felt like I could go sit at a bar and have a drink with you. You know, like
Thank you.
as long as you paid though. As long as you
Place
paid.
of coffee. There might be some Baileys there.
Okay, very good.
All right, I got one for you guys. So, can you tell me, actually I have two. Can you tell me a little bit more about your competitors and what your differentiation is? And then also, what type of company is this to you both? Is this a lifestyle business that you want to keep for a long time and generate revenue off of, or do you want to exit? And what would an exit look like for this network?
Wow. That's you is.
Just take a little softball question.
I mean, what type of company is this? I imagine this is a company that we would like to own for quite some time. It is for us probably a way to fund other companies that we might like to run. This idea is infinitely scalable. I mean, we could have, adding users doesn't really create that much more work for us. It only would reasonably create more revenue. So owning something like this for a long time, I think would be great. What was the first part of the question again?
Just competitors and
That's a tough question. We have tried to look out there. There's one other company that does something similar. But they want you to sit in front of your computer and give your last will and testament, and then upload it to them. But it's not the social idea. It is delivering your last will only. There's not this one that mixes in all these thoughts. And then there's another one out there, but their company name is Death Notes, and I don't think anyone's said it. Everybody says it's a great name for a metal band, but a terrible name. So if you guys are looking for a metal band name, that's
Yeah, just real quick to expand on that. I mean, this is really a social media site. When you shoot a video or take a picture on your phone, I mean, our dream or our goal is, where do you want to send this? Facebook, final thoughts, to your gallery, send a Gmail, whatever. That's our dream, is to have it there, that easy to do. You can send it up there and leave it in queue, not sign it to anybody, but at least you're saving it somewhere. Yeah, you can just keep, you make it, so another example, real quick. Imagine that you have, everybody's gonna have like their top, their 5 friend list, their top 10 friends that they're probably gonna send stuff to all the time. Imagine that when you leave and you're no longer with us, your best friend has just this catalog, and you can see your relationship. You can see kind of how you got a video when they were 23, you got a video when they're 25, you got a video when they're 28, and then you have all these videos, and you just get to sit down, or you get to look, and you get to see kind of your best friend's life evolve, and you're in it. You're emotionally attached. This is your best friend. You're in it. You can look at that. You can just relive that person's life. This person is really creating a legacy as they walk through the normal steps of life. That's really what they're doing. You're creating your own legacy that can live on and people can continue to share again and again and again and again. I mean, how many of us go visit their grandparents' gravesite? I'm sure not that many, right? But if you could click on it and watch it on your phone, or you thought about something and you want to see that person, you want to relive that memory, you can do it right at your fingertips.
All right, question here.
Maybe you touched upon it, I didn't get it. One of the things, this is going to sound really strange, but one of the things that that I do enjoy about my family's funerals is that we all get drunk and then we sit around and tell stories.
That's
And,
awesome.
You know, it's the best. It's the best thing. It's cathartic. And is there a way? There's a lot of great stories that, quite frankly, you don't necessarily you don't hear until the person's dead. And so, is there a way? You know, if I'm dead, that my friends could come in, tell some stories that my kids probably shouldn't hear until I'm dead. But that my kids could actually hear. If someone would curate it, you know, hopefully my wife would curate it, but this stuff, so there's actually third party, it's not just me broadcasting out, it's people actually broadcasting into it as well.
So in the user profile of the person that has passed away, some messages may be only shared with one person, you know, it was an intimate message. But they may have messages that they've shared with many, many people.
The same message.
The same message, yeah. The same message, they've assigned a lot of people. That message, that page will create a bit of a digital tombstone for them, where then you could upload another message to it, or another message to that, or, you know, someone remembered this event, and then you just make a quick little video, or type a comment just like you always would on any other video, and then you kind of continue that thread, much like you're doing when you're sitting around having drinks. But this thread can continue to go on for a long time, and you'll see, because you will obviously be a user of the site as well as a recipient, you know, if you're a recipient, you'll be able to go in there and make additional comments on those, a bit like a digital tombstone. Is that somewhat?
Yeah,
I know your answer.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, I would love to be able to, for my friends to upload, you know, to tell stories. I mean, I can sit here and tell stories about a bunch of my friends for hours, literally. And their kids would love to hear that when they're older. You know?
So you would want to be able to make that message and assign it to them. So,
Yeah,
but,
so
but
if
then
I have
you
a
don't want
friend-
to wait till you're dead.
Let's say I have a
Got
friend,
it.
Steve.
That makes sense.
Steve and I went to college together, hung out together, you know, and blah, 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 and I have all these great stories about him that I think his kids would love to hear.
Yes.
But, you know, it's one of those things that I'm not going to tell them when we're just sitting around,
Sure.
you know, but, you know, maybe at that moment, a person, you know, whether grieving, would love to hear stories about their parent or a loved one from a third party about this is what this person meant to me. This is, I mean, I think that could be very powerful too.
Yeah, doing it while they're alive is much like giving the inappropriate best man speech, right? But after they pass away, then it's kind of all fair game.
Right.
So to have a piece, I really like that. To have a piece.
We've never-
no one's ever.
no one's
suggested,
ever brought
but
that up.
That is.
That's why we're up here today.
That's
Stuff
very
like that.
integral. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Two quick things. One is your thing on the space, like the amount of space you're in charge of, say 100 megawatts and stuff like that. I think a really cool thing to do is growth hack it as much as you can. So it's like Dropbox did. You do invite 5 friends and you get an extra amount of space there. That will just see like a huge amount of growth of people using the website and stuff like that. So, you know, when someone gets added, it's like, you know, then they can start loading their own profile and stuff like that. The other thing is that something you might come under fire with is the notification side of stuff. Like, I don't know, like I travel the world quite a lot, my family's based all over the world, so I kind of miss, you know, some family events and things like that. And it's actually kind of difficult sometimes, where it's like, out of the blue, you'll get photographs of your entire family together and you're not there or something like that. So like, the video that you're putting together of this, you know, the bride on her wedding day, and she gets a notification from, you know, someone's deceased. Just be, I mean, I don't know, I mean, I kind of feel like that can throw you, especially on like, you know, a special day or potentially like going into, let's say you guys are going into a pitch meeting for, you know, a grant or something like that, and all of a sudden you get a notification about someone who's passed away, it could just throw you. So almost look at that of like, is this a good time to notify you about final thoughts or something like that? Just something that is just a bit more sensitive. I think it's a good idea, but I love the idea of being able to go in and saying, I want to go and, I'm being kind of nostalgic right now, I want to go and read up on my dad or my grandfather or something like that. I think that, but the notification side is that kind of invasion side that could be seen, just could come under fire. I'm not kind of criticizing it, I'm just saying someone could find that, as an invasion, if that makes sense.
And to kind of on that last note, one of the things that we've incorporated, I know we're just giving a short presentation and we don't have our website here for everybody to kind of play with it and really see how it works. When you sign somebody up to be a recipient, they have to accept that they're a recipient to you or a thought guardian, so they're going to know that they're connected to you, and hopefully, our plan is that everybody knows that they're involved with this person or that person, so to receive a final thought, hope to God you know what it is, and that you know that you're connected to that person. So and that's kind of how we hope to grow. That's how we want to grow our site. Is when you set somebody up as a recipient, they get an email saying, Matt Hansard just set up Larry Siebert as a recipient, or and then you can next, hey man, did you sign me up for this website thing? Oh yeah, I left some thoughts here, but I don't want you to add them to whatever. There's some funny stuff and there's some stuff maybe you don't want to know, or whatever the case may be. But they're gonna know that you're connected to them. That's the hope. If they don't know, then we didn't do our jobs of making this site as big as we want to make it. It's really.
I think maybe just adding some things to the thought guardians, obviously if they're thought guardians, they're going to be deciding when to deliver that message, and so maybe not delivering it the morning of the wedding would be a good thing, because you do need to compartmentalize yourself enough to get down the aisle without when your mascara is intact. So maybe the day before, the day after, or whatever, those sorts of things. But I get what you're saying about that.
Very good presentation. So I have some, this is, the final thoughts just make me like a mother with two younger children, and make me feel like, wow, I just cannot die because I was supposed to take care of my children. So for me, I'm most of the person who will live the moment. And so I actually have some ideas about what if is some thoughts or some ideas, some lessons. For instance, this is my thought about if I can do over again, what's my career will look like, what's my life will look like. If you become a social site, so should be something, if the video will be something people can learn some lesson from, or learn some lesson from the people with wisdom. I think that's probably what your people like me I will go to see. And people who are the famous entrepreneur and I admire, it's kind of like, become like it's like a book about yourself and become like a 3-5 minutes video. And I would like to watch that instead of to read like a whole book. And I think a lot of people would do that. And then some of the famous professor and some people who have significant period change about their life and their career. And I think those kind of sort of people would like to you can draw a lot of people to the social side to watch those kind of videos. That's what I feel like. And then the final thought just kind of somehow make me feel like so sad. And then just like figure out when I die and what my kids will want to hear and my grandkids. It really matters how much quality time you spend with them and learn about the good memory instead of you tell them that's what I wish you to do or whatever. Well, if I didn't spend much time with my grandma, whatever she said, it really doesn't matter much to me. So just my thought.
I like your idea of the celebrity user, where it's someone that is famous and has done something great with their life. And we always joke and use Lady Gaga as our choice, and she wants us
Not
to
because
give,
of the Super Bowl this weekend.
and she wants us to tweet her little monsters for the next 50 years after she's passed away. If that's what she wants, that's the thought we will deliver, and that's the format we will. If you were a famous person that would like to leave these, and you would like us to send your thoughts to your Facebook or your Instagram or to NBC because you have this thing you want to say, we will deliver your thoughts however you want.
Or your favorite Audible book. Like this book meant a lot. This is something that,
And you already
this was
have
a
a
book that changed my life, and I think it would change yours, kind of a thing.
You can leave anything.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, you guys, last two, and then we'll do coffee, and you can have other questions.
In terms of business development, do you base your rate of growth off of like life insurance sales of a certain age segment? And the second part would be a suggested way to grow your business would be as an added insurance salesman's upcharge. But I would do that after you've established yourself, because they might hawk your idea.
Well, I mean, I always say the most adamant salespeople I meet out there are the Northwest Mutual kids. I mean, they are out there pumping the business all day long, meeting with people. I think you could go to someone like that, and that would give them another tool in their tool belt as they're talking to clients. Hey, Northwest Mutual has purchased 1 million usernames from this website. You should engage in this too, so when your annuity payout goes out to your daughter and you're sending her on a trip around the world, she gets this message that goes along with it. Because they're out there hard on the streets every day. I'm sure we've all met them, been called by them, gone to lunches, more times than we could probably count. But they are on the streets. I think that would be a great idea.
But do you have any idea what the rate of sales are? And use that as a predictive model for your particular sales and acquisitions.
We've done none of that.
We don't know anything.
We don't know. We have no idea. I think, get hyper-focused on what we're trying to do now and assume that when we have a product that's a little more sellable and a little more together, we'll just start making sales calls at that point and seeing who bites on this.
No, that was
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so come back next week. We're going to hear from Premier Elder Solutions. Maybe you can partner with them guys. I don't know what they do, but they're probably closer to Final Thoughts than some of our other companies. All right. Go have more coffee. Thanks for coming. See you next week.
But